full moon. Got Madam Moonflower joining. Oh, so seamless.
So simple. So beautiful. Hey, babe.
Hello, darling.
Getting the water in. Getting the water in.
That's what I need. I need some water. I've been drinking coffee all morning, and I don't know who I think I am, but it's just what's happening.
I also imbibed the last 2 mornings in coffee, which is unusual. And I'm noticing some of the things about that. One of those things is that my temper gets short and I get snappy. So, got to keep an eye on that stuff.
You know, I was going to say, I hate to say it. I don't actually hate to say it. I just naturally am a little snappy. So I feel the coffee just kind of melds into my natural operating vibration.
Yes, I feel that. I was a chronic coffee drinker for a long time. And after I stopped drinking, I was like, I'm a lot different when I don't have coffee. So I just keep that in mind because I also love it intensely. The smell of coffee, the taste of coffee, I love it so much. And, me and my body, we negotiate the things that we really love over what feels the best in the.
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that. I have these frequent check-ins with coffee of like, all right, like, is this conducive? Is this sustainable? Like, how are we doing? And I just keep coming back to a yes, which I'm grateful for. And I don't know why, like, often am like clutching my pearls. Like, this could be the time where coffee just leaves my life and doesn't come back. But it's 1 cup in the morning. I got some good fat that I have with it. And it's the spirit of coffee and my body are aligned. So
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I'm grateful. Yeah, how are you doing on this full moon?
Ooh, I am feeling so watery. I have been loving Cancer season. I have been so ecstatic to just be diving into home and hearth and garden. And even though I've had a little bit of some health setbacks recently, I'm recovering from those well. Water is a huge part of my recovery and part of even what the problem was. So yeah, life feels so much better when there's a bountiful amount of water, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also did a moon class during Cancer season, which was incredible. It was on the new moon, coincidentally or not. But that has informed so much of the work that I've been doing for more than a decade now about femininity, and realizing that we keep trying to apply all of these masculine, patriarchal, capitalistic things to the moon. And I came to it yesterday in the watery depths at 4 a.m. in the morning when I couldn't sleep because the moon was beaming in on me. That I don't think I should be manifesting at all ever based on the moon. Bringing things into the world is a daytime activity. A nighttime activity is illumination and introspective. Like these full moons. I posted something on my Instagram story today that really resonated with me. Like, don't manifest right now. This full moons are for illumination of the shadow aspects of the sign that you're in.
Mhm.
And I was like, yes, 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 yes. This is like connecting dots for me. And it also just felt so get in the water-ish to me,
Mhm.
you
Yeah, the
know?
water. Yeah, that's really beautiful, and I love how you're, like, tying in, like, not just, like, the theme of water and the season, but also, like, alchemy and magic, and just a big part of your craft as Madame Moonflower of, like, deepening your relationship and attunement to the moon and, like, what does the moon alchemy and, like, a moon relationship actually mean. Um I very much feel that water element with this full moon,
Mhm,
which is really interesting because it is this, I mean, at a glance, buck moon feels very earthy to me.
mhm,
Capricorn, cardinal earth, ruled by Saturn, kind of dry, but like the water I feel is coming up deep from within the roots. And one of my
mhm.
favorite archetypes of Capricorn is the sea goat. It is not
Yeah.
just this land animal energetic. It also has the potentiality to go very deep into water. And so it's like almost this really beautiful energy of polarity of like kind of what you're speaking to about like, full moons and new moons. And I feel like Capricorn is highlighting where are we playing too much on one end or the other? Where are we too earthy, excel, grind, climb the mountain? Where are we too deep in the water? How can we actually find that sweet spot that may not be the full moon and the new moon? It may not be
Mhm,
like a very hard delineation, but kind of recalibrating, rebalancing. And I feel like the water playing into that is just so nourishing, and I'm grateful. Because sometimes
mhm.
these lunations can just be very hot, very fast, very dry, and to get like such a big mouthful of wisdom in a hydrating way is such a blessing.
I definitely feel that, and I'm feeling it, like, I'm in Texas, feeling, we had this rash of storms and some terrible flooding and loss of life there, but also feeling this drenchedness of plenty of water, and trying to find the blessings in that, like how my garden has flourished, how my land feels, how I feel with this reprieve of the oppressive heat of summer, and um, also the beauty of Mother Nature, like, you know, in her, infinite wisdom and constant cycling, that this is a part of it. It was always meant to be. And this divine essence of just bringing whatever she has, regardless of our manifestation wishes or our plans or our life trajectory, that I think I feel so outside of it sometimes, out of sync with it. And when something like a disaster happens, it really brings me home to connection with whatever is natural and whatever is completely outside of my control and not even maybe predictable in any way, despite our desires and technologies to try to predict such things. Yeah, the wildness of life is kind of brought back home in this get in the water theme for sure.
So for those who are live and those in the future who will be watching this video, Madame Moonflower creates attunement themes that accompany and pair with each sun season of the year. And we are in Litha, midsummer, and the corresponding theme is get in the water. And so, primarily on Instagram, myself and Madame Moonflower and our other witch friends, Koya, we'll come together to talk about what does the attunement theme mean? What does the peak of the season reflect to us? And how are we engaging with not just the season, but like our lives through the lens, through the mirror of the season, through Get in the Water? What is coming up in our lives and our relationships and our mental health and our emotional health and our physiological health? And we talk about it. A part of our practices as witches is being in tune with the wildness, the natural world, and the sun cycle seasons. And this is a big offering that Madame Moonflower shares with us, but that the three of us come together to share with the collective, because there are natural disasters and natural cyclical things that are tumultuous and traumatic that are going to happen in our lives. Like, that is a given. And these attunement themes and a reverent walk with the season, it doesn't make the pain go away. It doesn't cover our eyes so we don't see and feel the problems and the troubles, but it is a steady, a consistent, a prayerful, soulful connection that can help make the hardest times not feel so unbearable. And oftentimes it can even feel medicinal and something that,
Mhm.
oh, this is hard, this is trying, but I can actually get through this. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know why, but I have a sense of faith. And the attunement themes that I've had the pleasure to have a part of my life and my practice through Madame Moonflower have been absolutely a blessing, and I feel have been really integral in my walk as a practitioner, as a woman, as a witch. Um, and so that's why we are here talking about Get in the Water, talking about this lunation, because it all of these different pieces and components are a part of this season, this sun cycle, and the magic and the medicinal potency of the attunement theme, Get in the Water. So I will put all of the links in this video once it's saved so that you can follow us on Instagram to be a part of those seasonal conversations with our sister Koya, and that you can join our Patreons and have community, cultivate a collective community around not just the seasons, but the themes, and hopefully bolster you in your life and in your relationships, practices, et cetera, et cetera.
I have so many plans for Patreon. I have
Tell
so
us.
many plans right now. I've got a couple of meditation. Well, I have one that's coming. I'm going to record the live version of it. I did a moon class, but I was speaking so heavily reliant on my visual aids that it made it impossible to just put as an audio recording. So I'm excited to be sharing moon things and
Mm.
chakra meditations and like so much goodness over there.
Oh, I'm really excited because I know there is so much that you do daily that's potent. Like the offerings, of course, fabulous. Jealous that I'm not in Texas to be there. But just for people to be able to get like the behind the scenes magic, like the in the cupboards magic that most people don't have access to, that's what I'm really thrilled about, that you'll be able to just let people in on that magic. That's so healing.
I mean, I'm going to make some more notes. I just had a bunch of ideas based on what you just said. So, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited about it too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. I've been putting a lot of intention and presence in Patreon as well. And it just feels really good. It feels like mine. And I am very grateful for Instagram because I have gotten comfortable with interfacing in this way. Like prior to showing up visually on Instagram, I wasn't even doing video calls with people. I was like, you want to look at me? You want to like get on the phone and we like talk to each other like this, but not in person? Like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't,
Mhm.
no. And so Instagram was a tool, a pathway for me to, get the uncomfortable wiggles out. There's still some discomfort in it, but not nearly as much as it was like 4 to 5 years ago. And so in that time, getting comfortable and like really leaning into what's accessible on Instagram, it started to shift. And I would say last fall, Instagram just didn't really feel, I couldn't feel myself in Instagram. It's like not even really about Instagram. It's about like when I'm interacting with anyone, anything, any tool, any platform, can I feel myself? And since last fall, it's like it's like an echo chamber. I'm just like echoing out. And where am I in that? But Patreon, it's just like a lot of the barriers between, I feel like, me and my collective, the people who are interested in my offerings and interested in having conversations, not just likes and comments and shares, is like, I want to talk to y'all. Like,
Mhm.
what do you think about this? Like, I want to put you on something, put me on something.
Mhm.
Let's have an actual like relationship. And I'm really excited for that in Patreon.
Mhm.
To have a relationship with people who resonate with my work and my magic.
I love that too. Yeah, I definitely feel lost in the algorithm a lot
Mhm. Mhm.
in Instagram, but yeah, but you're shuffling some cards over there.
I
What's
am.
going on? What are we doing? What are
I
we doing?
just, just seeing if anything wanted to like pop out. And one thing popped out. Nothing else has come out. It's the temperance. This is
Mm,
a lovely depiction of temperance.
mhm.
And this is the pocket version of the Wild Unknown Tarot. This is so Capricorn full moon. So I'm going to loop it back to today. We are in the atmosphere of this full moon in Capricorn, and there is emphasis on Saturn, and there's emphasis on Saturn's transit in Aries. And then we have this water. The temperance card itself is Sag energy. And so to me, this is just like so much movement in the body. There's like this churning and this activating, but there's also access because of movement, like physically in your body or energetically, soulfully. There's now access to emotion that can be released and expressed. It also feels like passion being released and expressed. Maybe that's through creativity, maybe that's through movement. But it all is made possible because there is like a turning of the guard. Like Saturn to me, this Capricorn full
Mhm.
moon to me is like there's a turning of the guard. And so there's this gateway, this opening, this potential for new. Like now there is space and potential and possibility for this movement in the soul, for this movement of the body, or like movement to like move a home, move a business,
Mhm.
take a big trip. And then through that movement, the access to the emotion and the passion is there. And I believe this is a heron.
Mhm. I think so.
So just so much water and fire. Um, yeah,
I love that
reestablishing.
too. I feel like one of the things that is making things feel such a grand scale of potential that maybe like the magnitude wouldn't feel the same if we weren't also having the Uranus transit into Gemini, which is like
Mhm,
changing the entire world as we know it and
mhm,
rapidly, I think, in some cases. So I feel like we're also in some unprecedented astrological times. But I'm also kind of looping myself back to Capricorn season at the beginning of the year. Like, what was going on there? And like, are things coming to a wrap up? Or what is being illuminated in this Capricorn full moon from all of the things that I've been through and been working on? And I feel like the Saturn energy of Capricorn on top of this like home and like intuitive fluid energy of Cancer that the sun's in right now is helping me literally reimagine um like my living space, but also how I want to be in my home. Like, how do I want to be feeling in here, and what things. I mean, I came here and I didn't have much, so I'm not like letting go of a bunch of things as much as like, is my arrangement feeling good? What would be more practical, from that kind of Capricorn
Mm,
perspective? How can I support myself to like fulfill my commitments, to be in a pragmatic way that Capricorn is asking for? Like,
mhm,
can you illuminate those things so that I can feel like seamlessly in flow when I'm in my home?
mhm,
And, like I'm about to destroy my spare room after I just got it all set up and decorated because I want to paint the walls, but there's all this weird stuff and I've got to sand and the taping was done wrong, redo the taping in the walls, like all of this like major structuralness required to make the homey fluidness feel
mm,
good. And I feel like, um, yeah, I feel like some of that stuff is just being easily illuminated. And I'm also, in working with the moon, I'm kind of flipping my script with it instead of being like, oh, this means I should do something because we're in this phase. What can I let go of? What can I manifest? What can I set an intention for? What can I take action on? Like all these things that we attribute to moon cycles.
mm,
I'm trying to step back and be like, where is my attention to this cycle showing me where this is already naturally happening?
mhm,
And then with my awareness and intention, can I let this transition that is probably going to happen anyways because it is a cyclical thing, especially for women in womb bodies that are so more greatly affected by the moon? How can I just let there be space around the cycles that will naturally happen in my life and not need to do something, do a spell, figure out what my intention is? It's the new moon. Like,
mhm.
I think the moon isn't for that. And I'll be talking on my Patreon a lot more about this stuff. Um, my whole connection with the moon has radically shifted in the last week, I should say,
Mm,
and the way that I want to talk about her and commune with her. So,
mm,
yeah, that's an invitation to not feel so incredibly pressed to do something, but just see what the cycle is about and where is it already showing up. And can you provide spaciousness around the transitions that want to naturally happen?
mhm. Yeah, that's a really beautiful perspective and like counter suggestion to what we're inundated with. Um, I've just been like reflecting on like what do I do on the new moon and the full moon. I know that in my practice, like last year, I deeply craved to stop offering like gatherings on new moons and full moons so that I could just be with that energy. And that was probably one of the best decisions that I could have made. And I feel like prior to that, and even post making that decision and change in my personal practice, I don't think I do write anything down or like make intentions. Like my intention setting, if you would call it that, because I'm a manifester. And so it just be kind of flowing. It's just like I think about it, I feel it, I taste it, I kind of let it go, and I know it's coming. And I can usually zero in like, oh, it's coming like next week, or like, oh, that's gonna need a few months to kind of just brew and cook a little bit before it shows up. But
Mhm.
I feel like that whole relationship with like intention and manifesting has shifted to seasons. Um,
Mhm.
like I do a lot of my conjuring, intention, manifesting, planning in the winter,
Mhm.
which the seasonal will does correspond with like the moon cycles.
Mhm.
Um, and so in a way, I feel like in a some like a subtle removed way, I am working with the lunar energetics, but not directly, because I feel like
Mhm.
I'm really in it. Like there isn't much happening in the winter. Like it's such a lovely time of year where I have like this permission that it's
Mhm.
cold, it's dark at 5, people are trying to be at home and warm. Like I can just chill. Like there isn't anything being asked of me. Like the
Mhm.
sun, the peak sun season itself, like peak yang energy isn't even asking anything of it. Like we are all intentionally in the yin, and that is where I cook. That is where I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, let's see what's in here now. Ain't nobody like asking for me to go do a bunch of things. I'm just like in it. I'm in my cauldron. I'm in my like calabash womb. What
Mm.
do I want to clean out of here and just be with? And what do I want to start seeding? And then I
Mm.
think the rest of the sun cycle, honestly, I'm just kind of like, let's see how good I worked winter solstice and through the
Mhm.
winter and what is going to come. Yeah, without even giving voice, that's what I've been doing.
I love that.
And that's
Yeah.
felt really good. Cause like, what is it? The winter solstice is full moon and summer solstice is new moon.
Flipped.
Winter solstice is new moon.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just like that emptying out, which I learned from you through the cult of Gemini was like people forget about the empty. They're like, manifest, manifest, kind of. It's like empty out. New moon is like empty, empty.
Mhm.
Have you seen the
Exactly.
bottom of that cauldron? When's the last time you emptied her out? Have you seen her?
For certain. And I love that you're bringing in the kind of larger cycle of the seasons. I've been kind of working with an idea too, like a hierarchy of influences of magical practice. And I think if we think about ourselves as like we're the primary influence, like literally us and our experience. Did I sleep? Do I need water? Am I hydrated? Do I need a shower? Like how am I feeling?
Mm,
Not that any of those things should deter you from magic, but they're certainly going to affect your results. And so like knowing yourself, like am I doing this magic in a house? Am I doing it outside? What season is it outside? What can I safely do right now? Like what should have been safe to do water magic at the river, but was not because of these storms coming in, right? And like understanding that I'm not even going to go into the whole thing. I can succinctly say I would love to see magic stop being so formulaic and really come back to localization. So in Texas, there isn't a forest here. There are no pine trees here. Like, I'm not going to have a winter wonderland. My spring starts a little bit earlier. My fall starts a little bit later. And can I start to align myself seasonally and kind of reject the witch's perfect wheel of the year because it does not make sense for my geography
mhm,
or my seasons
mhm,
whatsoever?
mhm.
And can I start to approach my magical practice and my spiritual practice very locally? Like on my lot of my house, have I attended to the spirits that might live here? Instead of like, I got to go to the graveyard and get spirit. Maybe, but maybe I can just do it on the tiny patio of my apartment because I'm in tune with my local environment. And then how does that spread out? And I love the correlation between that you were talking about between the moons and the seasons, even thinking more expansively and less immediately about magic. Maybe during this high summertime, I become aware that my job or my relationship is no longer good for me. But high summer is not really the great time for releasing. You know, maybe I take this awareness with me and I try to make some adjustments and changes. And then come fall, if things aren't working out, that is a reaping time. You know, and like, can we like expand our lives in sit more in them without doing anything, but holding the awareness of them? And then just seeing how things work out. In my 20s and 30s, I had a couple of different belly dance troupes that I did. Award winning, I'll say, belly dance troupes. But one interesting thing that I noticed is that I would know months before someone was going to leave the group. And I would try to talk to them and like just make sure everything was cool. And literally every single time they're like, "What are you talking about? Everything is fine. I don't know what are you saying?" And I learned to just shut my mouth and observe and hold the knowing and then just see how things unfolded naturally without me saying, "Well, are you going to be in? Or are you out?" Like without me trying to force anything or repair anything. And allow myself to just see that person exit for whatever reason, for, you know what I mean? Like these natural cycles of people being here and then not being here. And I feel like if we can just be in more awareness of our lives, period, and not trying to do something, I got to do some magic to fix this. I got to do a spell for love. I got to do it the more awareness we are in, the more attuned to the seasons we're in, the more we'll just see what's already coming. And I think you were beautifully saying that in your regular practice, like pulling back from those kinds of things, and you're naturally doing that. But I'm just feeling such a call to like stop the rat race of spells.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I love the emphasis that you're like shining a light on in terms of like that local, like simplified, but not. It's like focusing your magic in terms of like what is around you, like connecting to the wildness. Because I feel the seasonal wheel, like the solstices, the mid seasons, is a template. It is a starting point. Like the way the sun moves through the sky is different than it was thousands of years ago. Like we know this. And so it's just like a starting point. It's a suggestion. I feel that not everyone, obviously, but like as a collective, because of what's available social media wise, we forget about us in the equation. We are looking outward at this information, the seasonal wheel, the lunar phases, and it's like our soul is hungry for it. It's like, I feel this tingle, this sensation. It must be the seasons. I'm going to latch onto it. It must be the new moon or the full moon. I'm going to latch onto it. When, like, no, babe, you're feeling just resonance. Like you are just recognizing what is in you. Those seasons are in you. That lunar cycle is in you, especially if you are a bleeding woman or a bleeding person, or if you have a uterus 10 times over. Men have it too, but it's even more so for bleeding women, womb carriers, bleeding people, that it's just an invitation to come back to self. And once you come back to self, you ping off of that inspiration you can become aware of what Madame Moonflower so beautifully just laid out, is you can start to be like attuned to what is happening, what am I sensing and feeling with the trees. Like it's winter solstice, but there's no snow, but like a flower bloomed. Like that is meant to talk to you about your winter magic of like maybe you aren't the person who was resting and chilling during winter. Like maybe that's when you need to actually fire shit up and use some of those flowers, or
Mm-hmm.
tune and listen to, okay, I pinged off of that external inspiration, and what am I feeling and sensing in my relationships, in my vocation, in my health, in my physiological body.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when we can remember our magic and ourselves in the midst of the external doing and action, that's when the real magic happens. Like, I completely agree with that, Rachel, and you said it like really, really well. Like, so much of what we are shown and like what's kind of being fed to us is do this, do that, action, action, action. And it's like, it's those stillness and the witnessing and like the make, just like not even active, like the physical, like the workout people, the active rest days, like that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the active rest. Like you're not actually in the gym lifting weights. Or maybe you're in the gym, get on the fucking treadmill and just chill. Like just walk it out. Active rest time to allow the latent magic, and sometimes even the magic you were desperately reaching and grasping for, to actually like let it build and come up and come out. And I feel it reminds me so much of that video that I watched. I think I already shared this with you, Ginger and Koya, of like this interview of this man. This woman was asking him, what does prayer look like in your life right now? And he said that he was in the position to take care of his elderly mother. And as a man, he was like, I'm taking care of my mother in very intimate ways. I'm bathing her, I'm dressing her, I'm helping uphold her dignity. But he referred to his mother as the only living God creator he's ever physically known, that she birthed him and created him. And that for him to then be in a position to take care of her, that is prayer. That it's not always like, prayer can't always just be asking for something like out, like doing to get to. It's just sometimes it's in that reverent active rest.
Completely. And I think it's so counterintuitive. Like, we're on this social media, we're trying to get views and likes, and people who have big accounts, they're like, they've got to keep you coming back. And this is part of the capitalist patriarchal machine. And it's hijacking the liberation that magic is supposed to give us. And what would the world be like if I didn't need to immediately react to something? What would it be like if I sat in stillness in my space? What it would be like if I, instead of looking for something to do to fix something, just looked the people in my life in the eye and just sat with them and really took in the reflection that they were giving me? What if I took in the reflection of what my yard looks like because of what I'm giving it? What if I took in the reflection of my house and really let things just mirror back to me and have an honest, just presence with them? Not even an assessment or a judgment. Just being there and being aware is enough for things to radically shift and heal and grow just all by themselves. And I feel like that's what the moon is kind of there for us. And my understanding now is like, she's there to just show us this quick cycle and remind us that it also happens on a big scale in the year. And I think there's also the idea of like knowing what needs to happen and then letting the ashe build up in yourself, in your altar, in your writings, in whatever you're doing. Let that ashe build up and then have its expression in the time that it was going to have anyways.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I just completely agree. I'm like, that's what I've experienced. That feels true. And I think it's a very deep invitation and a challenge for some people to like really sit with that. What would that look like in your life? And what would that look like if that was the archetype schedule system that you attuned yourself to versus on the full moon you release or give gratitude, and on the new moon you call in. It's like, what if you just kind of like sat back a little bit and like remembered that
Mhm.
you are a part of that equation and you check in with you.
Yeah, in my system that I'm developing with working with the moon, I call the line, like if the moon cycle was drawn in a circle, the line between the new moon and the full moon, I call the line of repose.
Mm,
We're not doing nothing.
mm,
We in the full moon, we're more external. We are being around those people to have that reflection, that illumination of ourselves and what's happening in our lives. In the new moon, my belief is like solitary. You are drawing within yourself to see what your inner landscape
mhm,
is relaying to you.
mm.
And that's what we do on those times.
Ugh, I mean, yeah, I I just had a vision like of you just talking about that, like drawing the line and talking about them. Like I live on land. I live in a little cabin with we just got we just got solar, but we don't have like electricity. We don't have lights. We don't have outlets. Um but when it's a new moon, you feel it. Like we're outside
Mhm.
at night all the time. All the time we're out. Like it's like part of our outside is part of our home. It's like our living room. We spend a lot of time, especially in the summer, outside, and you feel it coming. Like you feel it in the trees. Like you feel it in like how the animals and the insects attune when it's a new moon.
Mhm.
Like new moon time is fucking chill time. And I remember becoming aware of that at like a lighter level when I first moved to Nevada County. I remember being out with like
Mhm.
a girlfriend, and we just so happened to be like getting together around new moons. And I told her after like the third or fourth time, like, I don't know if I'm gonna be getting together with you around the new moon. Like, I need to be at home. Like, I just need like the trees driving into town, kind of looking a little bit funny. Like, I'm seeing lots of shadows. Like, I need to be at home. Like, we gotta figure out a
Mhm.
different time. Like, I'm not a hardcore avoiding the new moon, but my spirit is telling me I need to be just solo and I need to like just chill. And that is like 10 times compounded now living on land where it's so dark. Like almost every single new moon, I'm telling my partner, like, honey, like come out here, look how dark it is. Can you believe how dark it is? Like I'm always so surprised how like it penetrates. It's like penetrating darkness. Like almost you can't even see the trees that I know are there, like shapes and like things around. It's I'm just so
Mhm.
surprised how it's enveloped with that darkness. And then on the flip side, I'm out there frolicking when it's a full moon
You
because
can see
everything's
everything.
lit up. It's so bright. It's
Oh,
so bright. And there's like, yeah, yeah. So
I miss living on the mountain. I've never felt such dark and such light at night as I did there. Like the experience was incredible.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's amazing. So yeah, thank you. Thank
Thank
you for
you for
doing
a
this with
mental
me.
talk.
Yeah, this has been great. If you're seeing this, if you've lasted all the way here to the end, thank you. Please like the video, share it if you liked it, share it with someone. I will put, like I said, all of the links to find us and our sister Koya in the, the description. Yeah, description. I'm like, what platform am I on? Description. And we'll be back. I don't know when. I'm kind of liking this impromptu kind of a flow. So, yeah.
As we're told, we will show up.
That's right. Well, I'm wishing you all, you, my sister, and everyone a happy full moon in Capricorn. And blessed get in the water, blessed Litha. Let's do this thing.
Blessed, all those things. Thank you, Megan, so much.
You're welcome.